News starts right now.
Making news this morning, a chase involving Bexar County deputies ends with a crash and 3 arrests. Details coming up.
I'm ABC's M. Wynn in Washington. The CDC just authorized new booster shots for kids 5 to 11 years old. How soon parents could see these in pharmacies coming up.
Another muggy morning, 76 degrees at 4:30, but Justin says there is relief in sight. He'll explain when we can see those cooler temps.
Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, May 20th, and this is a nice way to start a Friday with Sarah Costa.
Oh, thank you,
in
Mark.
the studio. You're welcome.
I love being with you guys, GMSA, during the week. It's always a fun thing to mix up.
We love having you here. Steph's off for a long weekend. Justin is in for Mike. And are we still looking pretty good for some changes around here?
We are. Everything's kind of falling in line here.
Good.
So we have some small chances of rain today. Then we have our cooler temperatures headed our way this weekend, and then some rain next week. So it's all looking pretty good. Let me show you what we're watching this morning. We have an area of low pressure out here in Mexico. It's not terribly strong. There's a lot of dry air associated with this. So rain chances aren't great, but they are going to move in our direction as we head into this evening. That's the first thing we'll be watching. There's just about a 20% chance of rain with this little system here. As we take you to the north, this is, I think, what we're all excited about. There's a front up here. There's a lot of cooler temperatures up across the northern part of the country, and that cooler air is sinking south. It's just starting to make it into Texas at this hour. So Amarillo may feel it a little bit today. It's not until Sunday morning, that we'll start to feel some of that cooler air moving in here with this front. And not only that, the front brings us rain chances too, which is probably the most exciting part of it all, because we need the rain so badly. Here's a look at the KSAT 12-hour forecast for today. Cloudy skies this morning. It is a little more humid today. You'll notice that, and that may actually contribute to a heat index today. So with these temperatures in the upper 80s at noontime, may feel a little bit warmer than that. We're going to start to add in some rain chances around 2 o'clock, and we'll probably be looking at mostly cloudy skies today for at least a period. Temperatures make it up to around 97 with that small chance of a shower or storm. And I'll caution you, if we do see a storm, there's a possibility that it could be strong to severe. It's just that the chances of seeing storms are fairly low. We'll talk about all that. We'll talk about rainfall totals, at least potentially. That is coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says 3 people were arrested last night and a deputy was injured after a pursuit that ended in a crash on the city's northeast side. Deputies initially stopped a white SUV near Loop 410 in Rigsby. BCSO says when a gang unit deputy arrived, officials realized the vehicle had been stolen. The driver took off and clipped the assisting deputy in the leg. Deputies say a pursuit started and finally ended after the driver of the stolen vehicle crashed into a parked car on Goldfield off of Frontage Road I-35. BCSO says 2 men and a woman tried to run away but eventually were caught. The trio faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault of a peace officer and evading arrest. The hurt deputy was taken to Texas Med Clinic for evaluation.
This morning, pharmacies are preparing to roll out new shots as the CDC officially recommends Pfizer's boosters for children ages 5 to 11 years old.
ABC's M. Wynn has the latest from Washington.
With summer approaching, so are concerns for another wave of COVID-19. Already, the country is averaging nearly 100,000 new COVID cases a day, infections quadrupling in the last 6 weeks. About 25,000 patients in the hospital, the highest number since mid-March. Now, the CDC officially signing off on new booster shots for kids 5 to 11 years old, at least 5 months after their initial shot.
The clinical trials did show an excellent safety profile. The side effects seen with this booster dose in this age group were very similar to those seen with, let's say, the flu vaccine, soreness at the injection site, in some cases, some headache, fever, chills. Again, 0 serious safety signals in clinical trials.
Pharmacies and health systems getting ready.
I believe our organization will be looking to start vaccinating as early as next week.
Still, health officials are worried for that age group, where around 70% of those children are not yet fully vaccinated.
boosters are great once we've got everyone their first round, and I think that needs to be a priority.
The CDC also pointing to the vaccine's waning protection across all age groups from 60% after 2 doses to 20% a few months later, though still effective against severe disease. And for those younger than 5 years old, the FDA reminding parents that Moderna's emergency use authorization application was just completed. FDA Representative Dr. Dorn Fink saying, "We are working hard to review the data and bring the request to the committee as rapidly as we can." In the last week, 39 states and territories have reported increases in hospital admissions of at least 10%. The CDC is now again recommending masks indoors. Emlyn, ABC News, Washington.
President Joe Biden has arrived in South Korea and will meet with the country's president as the allies face a growing threat from the North's nuclear weapons program. Both the U.S. and South Korean intelligence officials say it's possible the North will conduct a ballistic or nuclear test during Biden's visit to South Korea and Japan. While North Korea is expected to be at the top of the agenda when Biden and the president of South Korea meet, it's unclear when the meeting will produce a meaningful new approach in handling the nuclear threat. President Biden expecting to visit a Samsung semiconductor plant in South Korea with the president today.
A tragic, heartbreaking story out of Tennessee. A 1-year-old child is dead after being left in a vehicle. It happened outside a daycare center in Memphis. First responders rushed the child to the hospital where he later died. The temperature in Memphis Thursday reached 91 degrees, nearly a record. An external temperature that high could push the temperature inside a car to more than 130 degrees. Authorities temporarily detained one employee from the daycare center. It is not clear if that employee will face charges.
Boeing launched its Starliner spacecraft on an uncrewed test mission towards the International Space Station last night. Starliner is designed to ferry astronauts to and from the ISS. 2 prior attempts at such a mission failed. Boeing's goal is to prove the Starliner can dock with the orbiting outpost. The aerospace giant must succeed at that before it can move on to missions with people on board. It will spend about 24 hours free flying before arriving at the space station with supplies for the astronauts already on board the ISS. Boeing originally hoped the Starliner would be operational way back in 2017, but that program has been plagued by delays. Right now, 4:37, about 76 degrees.
All right, are you thinking about a juice cleanse to lose some unwanted pounds? We have what you need to know before you start.
And the Eastern Conference Finals continue between Boston and Miami, and the Missions have had some trouble last night. We'll explain coming up.
Taking a look outside at the traffic authority. Can't tell if that's an issue there at 10 and Loop 1604. We're going to keep an eye on the roads for you as you get started early this morning.
Ready for some rain, folks?
Yes.
It's looking pretty good right now. The wins and wheres with Justin Horn coming up. Welcome back. 4:40. The Boston Celtics playing Game 2 last night in the Eastern Conference Finals against Miami without former Spur player Derek White. The guard who was traded to Boston on the day of the trade deadline was given the night off since he and his wife are having a baby. Congratulations, Derek. In Miami, Boston's Al Horford and Marcus Smart both back in the lineup after missing Game 1. Miami jumps out front early. Max Struss from behind the arc gives the Heat a 10-point lead. But from that point on, it was all Celtics. Peyton Pritchard for 3, Marcus Smart for 3, Grant Williams back-to-back threes. Boston goes on a 25-3 run to go from being down 10 to being up 11 in the first. Boston in control 70-45 at the half. Wow. Second half, Heat start to chip away at the Celtics lead. Jimmy Butler knocks down the mid-range jumper, and then he attacks the paint for the bucket and the foul. The Boston lead is down to 17. Celtics bend but don't break, and the lead is back up to 25 going into the fourth. Boston had 3 players with 24 points or more, led by Tatum's 27. Boston steals Game 2 and home court advantage as they head back home for Game 3 Saturday, 127-102. In the West, the Dallas Mavericks take on the Golden State Warriors in Game 2 tonight at 8. In our big game coverage, the Reagan girls golf team getting a round of applause for their state title before they start the UIL Class 6 third round series between the Rattlers and Smithson Valley last night. Doesn't take long for the Rangers to score. Game 1, NEISD Sports Park, top of the first 2 on. Ethan Gonzalez knocks a base hit into left center. Gavin Woods rounds third, and he will score. 1-0 Smithson Valley after 1. Bottom of the 4th, Reagan works the bases, loaded with 2 outs. Jacob King hits what looks like a routine grounder, but the ball's dropped at first, allowing 1 run to score. Rattlers score to take a 2-1 lead after 4, and that would be your final. Reagan takes game 1. Now to Missions baseball, team taking on the Midland Rockhounds, coming off that second no-hitter in 3 games. San Antonio ran into some trouble last night. Rockhounds pitcher managed to pitch 8 shutout innings while holding the Missions to only 4 hits. Missions get shut out by the Rockhounds by a final of 3-0. Series continues tonight and tomorrow night. And that's a look at morning sports.
Thanks, Mark. It's 4:43 and 76 degrees. Have you ever thought about doing a juice cleanse? It's become more popular for things like weight loss and detoxing, but what you should know before spending money.
And next, a former NSYNC star trying to bring more awareness when it comes to people living with psoriatic arthritis.
Today's GMA First Look, NSYNC member Lance Bass is opening up about living with psoriatic arthritis, hoping to raise awareness about the medical condition.
In this morning's GMA First Look, NSYNC's Lance Bass opening up about his recent health struggle. The 43-year-old who became a household name performing hits like this. Recently revealing his diagnosis of psoriatic arthritis.
And you just lived with this pain for a while?
I was a dancer my whole life, so I didn't think anything of it. Pain in your joints, your head, your knees, your heels. It wasn't until after a few years of having these symptoms that I talked to my doctor. I was so glad that I got this under control before I had kids, because there's no way I could have even fed a baby lifting like this.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more of our interview as Bass talks more about his health, his husband, and how his life has changed since becoming a father. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Juice cleansing. It's trendy and a lot of people swear by it.
But does it work? Is it safe? 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz takes a look.
Jim Schwab juice cleanses his body about 3 times a year, not to lose weight, but to kickstart healthy habits.
I use it as a way to kind of reset my body when I get into bad habits, snacking and over-portioning, sugar maybe, too much caffeine.
The juicing trend has been around for a while, but the cold-pressed juice market is expected to increase by some $116 million in the next 3 years. A 5-day cleanse can cost anywhere from $125 to more than $400. All for the promise of helping you feel and look better.
You feel more consistent. Your mind is much clearer because you're generally sleeping better. You generally feel better.
If you think about it, it makes sense. If you're not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and then you suddenly start drinking them, that burst of nutrients can make you feel really good.
But Consumer Reports says there's no scientific evidence juicing is actually good for you.
The natural sugar in fruit juice can be digested really quickly, and that ups your blood sugar levels, which can give you a burst of energy.
The lower calories can help shed pounds, but CR says it's likely water loss and likely to return. As for the claims of detoxing your body
already detoxes itself. It uses your kidneys, your liver, and your digestive tract to get rid of impurities. Nutrients in fruits and vegetables can help with that, but juicing leaves the fiber behind, and that's key for a healthy gut.
That's why Jim caps off his juice days with salads. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Still did not convince me.
No?
No.
I thought you'd be all over that.
No.
Okay. Let's check TransGuide right now. We do have some cars on the road right now. What is going on at 410 and Calabar? We have a ton of traffic, like it's almost 6 o'clock in the morning out there. And then we have some barrels out at 1604 and Bandera Road, but that's a construction zone, so I have to assume that is part of the issue. But the roads are dry for now. That could be changing as we head into the next, 3 to 5 days?
Yeah, and that's some really good news, Justin.
Yeah, pattern change is exactly what we needed. And the rainfall looks better probably early next week, but we do have a chance today. And the reason for that, little swirl in the atmosphere down here around Mexico. Now, I got to tell you, this doesn't look great. This little piece of energy, though, we'll be working in this afternoon. We'll see what it does. I'm not too convinced that we're going to get a lot out of it because we have a nice cap on the atmosphere. Think of it like a lid. It keeps those storms from building up. There is still a small risk for some severe weather today. If we can get a storm going, then there could be some hail and gusty winds. In this area here in pink is where we could see some of those stronger storms. But I would not cancel your plans or anything like that. The chance of seeing storms is about 20%, so it's low. Outside right now, we've got 77 degrees and cloudy. We're noticing a little bit more cloud cover this morning, a little bit more humidity. So that's something we'll have to contend with today. We may actually have a heat index. We haven't had to deal with that last couple of days just because it's been so dry in the afternoon. Southerly wind at about 13 miles per hour right now. And we're sitting at 77 at the airport, 74 Uvalde. It's still 81 in Del Rio, the warm spot this morning. You remember yesterday we had 60s in the hill country, not seeing that today. So that shows you that we have that extra humidity, extra cloud cover that's helping to keep temperatures up a little bit. The dew point trend does bring the dew point down some, but when you're in the mid 60s, even in the afternoon, that's going to allow for it to feel just a little bit warmer than that air temperature. And unfortunately, we're back in the 90s today. So any addition to that's going to feel pretty hot. Forecast. Cloudy this morning, 76 degrees. We will break out into some sun by midday. I think we're up around 88. But as we get into the afternoon, we are going to add in that 20% chance of a shower or storm. Temperatures up around 97 for a high. And then those rain chances taper off as we get into tonight. I showed you earlier, it's cooler up there to our north. There is a frontal boundary, and this will eventually work its way into Texas. Right now, it's just getting close to the Texas border there. It will slowly make its way through the state. And this is what is going to bring us the cooler temperatures as we get into Sunday. And it is going to be a big change. The forecast looks like this. So this is today, 5 o'clock, 20% chance of a shower or storm out there. And then as we get into, say, 10 o'clock, a lot of that starts to move off to the east. By tomorrow morning, clouds build back in, and then just a 20% chance during the afternoon and evening hours. Here is where things change. As we get into Saturday night, Sunday morning, front starts to come in. We're going to bring rain chances up to about 40%. This is midnight Sunday. And then some of those showers and storms may linger during the day on Sunday, about a 30% chance of rain with that front being around. And then beyond that, we'll have more chances of rain Monday into Tuesday, even into Wednesday. So on average, we're talking maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain total. Now, this is a generalization, but it would be fantastic if we could get some numbers like that as we head into next week. Something to look forward to. Here's how it looks in the 7-day forecast. 20% chance today, tomorrow 40% chance Saturday night into Sunday. And then we bring in some 40% chances of rain there Monday, 60% chance on Tuesday, and the temperatures will be cooler. 81 on Sunday. Compare that to 100, the current forecast for Saturday.
I love how the heat was like, I'm going to get one more in on Saturday.
Which, by the way, would be another record. We've just broken records left and right, but hopefully that trend will be over after Saturday.
Yeah.
Sure hope so. Thank you, Justin. Right now, we're at 4:53, about 76 degrees.
All right, up next, a look at the new titles hitting streaming services and theaters this weekend.
If you're trying to stay out of the heat, there's something new for nearly everyone on streaming this weekend.
The latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
What to expect from the new Downton Abbey movie out today? Star Michelle Dockery tells me you might want to bring a hanky.
Yes, it's very emotional. I feel like you can, cry laughing as well. There's lots of emotions.
She and her on-screen siblings, Laura Carmichael and Alan Leach, had a lot of fun making the second film in the franchise. Leach and Carmichael, perhaps a bit more fun because they got to spend half their time in the south of France.
So it was, I have to say, it was a spectacular time. Sorry, Michelle.
Downton Abbey, a new era, is only in theaters starting today.
I was always more of an Alvin and the Chipmunks person. You monster.
Streaming this weekend, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is a Roger Rabbit-style revival of the early 90s TV show that's on Disney+.
Who are you?
Sissy Spacek and J.K. Simmons star in Night Sky, a sci-fi drama on Amazon. And Rosie Perez heads a bilingual ensemble cast in Now and Then, a murder mystery on Apple TV+. And the stars continue to shine at the Cannes Film Festival. Anne Hathaway and Succession's Jeremy Strong on the carpet for James Gray's Armageddon Time, which got a 7-minute standing ovation at its screening Thursday evening. Julia Roberts also in attendance. And a big birthday for Busta Rhymes, the 11-time Grammy nominee turning 50 today. While President Fitz, Scandal's Tony Goldwyn, is 62. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Okay, 4:57 on your Friday, about 76 degrees.
We'll still head on GMSA. Can you imagine paying $6 a gallon for gas? Some say it could be a real possibility what President Biden is doing to ease problems for consumers.
Plus, a grocery store chain is testing out smart supermarket carts. We have details coming up in your morning Tech Bites.
Stephen Cavazos just walked in. He's going to give us an update about traffic around the area this morning. We'll hear from him in just a bit.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning. First it was 5. Now some analysts say we may soon see $6 a gallon for gas in the next coming months. How lawmakers in Washington are trying to help.
And taking a look outside with live cam, ready for some rain and cooler temperatures around here. Justin says we're still on track for a big change to our local forecast. Good morning, everybody. 5 o'clock on your Friday, May 20th.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So happy to be with you guys this morning.
I'm glad you're here, too.
Thanks, Mark. And okay, so it's been a brutal week. Mm-hmm. The high temps, the gas going up. Justin, you have some good news for us, though.
Yeah, I think we've heard in this forecast. That's what I'm going with. We need this in the worst way. The rain chances are looking better and better, especially as we get into next week. Let's look at it right now, show you what we're looking at. Today, just a 20% chance of rain. Isolated shower or storm this afternoon. We'll have to watch for a couple strong storms. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of coverage today, nor do I think we'll see a lot of coverage tomorrow. It's still hot on your Saturday. But by Saturday night, we do start to see those changes and rain chances come up, especially Sunday morning. 40% chance, 40% chance Monday, 60% chance Tuesday. Boy, doesn't that sound nice. And temperatures today up around 97 degrees, just that 20% chance rain. We'll see a good southerly breeze. It's a little more humid today, too. We should point that out. Temperatures at this hour, we're still stuck in the upper 70s, 77 degrees here, 78 Pleasanton, 72 Rock Springs, 79 in Del Rio. And a little closer look here. No 60s on the map this morning. In fact, we're still at 80 at Stinson, product of some gusty winds, a little more humidity and cloud cover, and that's keeping temperatures up today. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast as you plan out your day, 77 at 8 o'clock. By noontime, I do think we see some sun, 88 degrees, still a good southerly breeze. And it's hot again today, but we do add in that 20% chance of a shower or storm. If you have plans to be out this evening, chances are you'll be just fine. Just keep an eye on the KSAT 12 weather app. We'll keep you posted if any storm does pop up and if there's any severe weather or anything like that. Of course, the bigger changes come this weekend with a cold front and some cooler temperatures on Sunday. We'll have more on that here in just a bit. Let's get over to Stephen now, who's checking in on our traffic authority this morning.
Hey, good morning, Justin. Right now, happy Friday to you at home. Things seem to be moving a little bit slowly here off 1604 at Bandera. Mark was talking about this spot a little bit earlier. Just want to remind our viewers at home, this is some bridge widening that's taking place overnight. Crews should be wrapping up around this hour. We're hoping sooner rather than later, but don't forget that information is also on our website at ksat.com/traffic. Let's go ahead and get a look at the map because we did notice a crash has popped up here off I-35 southbound at New Braunfels Avenue. According to TxDOT, that crash came in around 2 this morning, but not seeing anything out there from the TransGuide cameras. So it may have already cleared, but seeing a very tiny slowdown there along 35 in those northbound lanes. So just remember to drive safe. Let's get the wide view of the metro area at 5:03. You're just seeing more green on the screen, thankfully, as we're inching closer to that weekend time. And if your destination is the Alamo City, well, we have some Friday treats here for you. The journey from Boerne is a 25-minute drive time in those eastbound lanes, 27 minutes if you're traveling in those southbound lanes from 281 and 26 on I-35 southbound heading in from New Braunfels. So things look like they're in great shape there. We're hoping that we'll have some good updates on this construction at 1604 at Bandera. Make sure you have your phones handy and open those camera apps for the next full traffic hit, guys.
Stephen, thank you very much. See you in a bit. New this morning, San Antonio police say a pedestrian is in critical condition after being hit by a car. Happened just before 11 last night in the 1700 block of Fredericksburg near North Zarzamora. SAPD says the 35-year-old man was crossing the street when he was hit by someone driving a black pickup truck. Police say the driver of the truck did stop to help. The victim was taken to a hospital with a broken pelvis, leg, and possible head trauma.
Also new this morning, San Antonio police are investigating a crash where a truck got crushed between two trains overnight. It happened around 2 o'clock this morning near the intersection of Southwest 19th Street, Darby, near General Hudnall. Police say two men in the truck got out after they initially hit a parked train. When they went to get help, SAPD says another train on a parallel track arrived and hit the truck, sandwiching it between the two trains. Firefighters are now having to cut up the vehicle to get it out. There's no reports of any injuries.
Two brothers accused in a robbery that turned deadly. The capital murder trial for Eduardo Torres continues today. In day two, the jury was presented with videos of his interrogation for the crime back in 2016. One of the videos, Torres blames his brother for a man murdered at a local bus stop.
If it's murder, then that's what he did. I didn't shoot nobody. He's not right in the head to begin with.
Eduardo Torres still denies taking part in any crime. His own brother has taken a plea deal in the case and is expected to testify against Eduardo during this trial.
Parking hurdles could be ahead for residents and patrons of the St. Mary's Strip. Homeowners in the area have complained of bargoers parking in neighborhoods and leaving trash behind and even vandalizing property. Officials say the solutions won't be easy.
Let's not worry so much about whether one thing, two things, five things is going to solve all the problems. Let's commit to this being something that is it's not a project to be finished. It's something that we're going to continue to work on.
A special study was done in a period of 3 weekends with and without barricades. It showed more than 500 outside visitors parked in that community to visit venues and bars on the weekends. Some of the feedback indicates that homeowners want to see limited parking by permit only. A town hall meeting with the city, business owners, Tobin Hill and Monte Vista neighborhoods will happen on Wednesday, May 25th at 6:30 at St. Sophia Church.
Well, now the price of gas, just as Americans plan their summer vacations.
The high prices we're paying right now could soon rise even higher. ABC's Andrea Fujii explains.
This morning, drivers are hoping someone can pump the brakes on rising gas prices as experts sound the alarm about a possible summer surge on the way.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's just keep going up.
Analysts with J.P. Morgan Chase are now predicting $6 a gallon gas by August. That would be a 30% increase from the current national average, as problems persist with the fuel supply chain, just as more Americans prepare to hit the road for summer travel. California has already surpassed the $6 mark, averaging $6.06 a gallon for regular. The rest of the country is averaging an all-time high of $4.59 a gallon. Taxi drivers say they're desperate for relief.
We really hurting. The people who use it every day, we don't fill up once a week. We fill up every day.
With Americans struggling, the House approved legislation yesterday to crack down on alleged price gouging by oil companies. The bill would allow President Biden to declare an energy emergency and make it unlawful to increase fuel prices in an excessive manner. The bill now heads to the Senate. In the meantime, a majority of people admit gas prices are affecting their vacation plans. One survey found 70% of Americans say their travel plans have changed because of rising gas prices, an increase of 24% compared to last year. Added fuel costs also affecting grocery purchases. 55% of shoppers say they're changing shopping habits, including buying less steak. Nearly 80% of consumers say they bought less meat overall because they couldn't afford it. Andrea Fujii, ABC News.
All right, time right now, 5:08, about 76 degrees.
Still ahead, how Twitter is trying to clamp down on viral misinformation that happens sometimes during times of crisis.
And next, we're going behind the kitchen door of a couple local restaurants who had some health violation issues.
76 degrees at 5:08 this morning. I think Justin has the best news this morning, saying, hey, we're going to get some much needed rain in the future. He'll explain when and also when those temperatures are going to be lowered.
Welcome back. 5:12. A dead mouse, rodent droppings, and filthy bathrooms lead to a low score for a Northwest Side bar.
And a pizza chain is ordered to undergo re-inspection due to repeat violations. It's what Tim Gerber found when he went behind the kitchen door.
First up this week, the Highlander Grill and Bar located in the 5500 block of Fredericksburg Road over on the Northwest Side. The bar racked up numerous violations, which led to a low score of 70. The inspector found uncovered hard cheese in the cooler, along with other uncovered items which could lead to cross-contamination. A foul smell was coming from the kitchen sink, and the men's restroom had a strong urine smell. The inspector found a trap with a dead mouse in it, as well as rodent droppings in the kitchen. In addition to needing a visit from a pest control expert, the place also needed a good cleaning because the inspector found a heavy accumulation of grease on the walls and a black mold-like substance on most of the walls in the bar and kitchen. The bar was ordered to undergo a re-inspection. Our next stop is the Little Caesars in the 900 block of W.W. White Road over on the southeast side.
This location earned a score of a 78 when inspectors came by on April 25th. That's the same score they had last September when inspectors stopped by, and they had nearly identical violations, which earned them a re-inspection.
Each time, inspectors found prepped pizzas at 61 degrees. That's 20 degrees warmer than required. Both visits also noted employees needed to do a better job of washing their hands and keeping the walls, floors, and ceiling panels cleaned. Inspectors came back on May 10th for a re-inspection and found all of the corrections had been made. That's what's behind the kitchen door. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
Several restaurants also got perfect scores. To see who did a good job, head on over to KSAT.com.
All right, it's 5:14 and 76 degrees.
Still had a first look at how TikTok is trying to get into providing video games for its customers.
Plus a first look at a grocery chain that is deploying self-checkout carts in some of its stores.
Welcome to Allstate, where everyone saves when they bundle their home and auto insurance. Isn't that right, Frank?
I saved 25%. Booyah.
You protected your casa?
Sure did.
And the Frank tank?
You know it.
And now you're relaxing.
I'm working from home.
Sure you are.
All right, I see a lot of head nods. Let's circle back tomorrow.
You weren't kidding. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
How is he still playing?
Aspercream Arthritis. Full prescription strength. Reduces inflammation. Don't touch my piano.
Kick pain in the Aspercream. I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
In today's Tech Bites, Twitter's crackdown on misinformation. The company will place warning notices over tweets deemed to be misleading, coming from highly visible accounts, especially during times of crisis. For now, the policy will focus on international armed conflicts. Next, TikTok is reportedly testing ways to play games on its app with plans for a major push into gaming. The move would likely boost its ad revenue and increase the time users spend on the app. Reports say tests for the gaming feature are already underway overseas. Albertsons is the latest grocery store to roll out smart shopping carts to let you skip the checkout line. Items are automatically added up as customers place them inside their carts. They're designed by a startup founded by former Amazon engineers. The company says it will free up cashiers for other tasks. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
5:18 on your Friday morning.
We're going to check in with Stephen Cavasso. Stephen, I knew there was some construction out there earlier.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we're still seeing some of that right now. Mark, Sarah, let's take that drive around town and see how that Friday morning commute is shaping up. 35 north 410. You can see just some light traffic. So far, so good. But we do have a little bit of construction to talk about. We talked about 1604. We're also seeing some work on the west side of San Antonio off of 410. So thankfully, and also looks like a crash may have just popped up there. So that's a new thing we're going to have to take a look at. But as I mentioned mentioned some road work continuing there in the west side of San Antonio. Column work, actually, and that's current until Sunday, May 22nd. So we still have a few days to go of this, but drivers, keep in mind this is overnight, so make sure you plan ahead. 8 in the evening to 5 in the morning. During that time, you can expect an alternating full closure in both directions there at the Culebra Road intersection. And earlier in the show, we showed you that shot, so crews were definitely out there. So grab those phones, open your camera app, and scan this QR code. There it is. We're going to leave it up for a few seconds. That will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page. And of course, that will have the latest on any closures that are taking place in your area or anything else that could impact your drive time. Guys?
Thank you, sir. Well, rain is on the horizon in our forecast, which is great news. Justin's been talking about it all week long. And while it won't necessarily be a drought buster, anything will help at this point, right?
Yeah, we need a ton of rain to break this drought. I think we showed you last week we would need something like 11 to 12 inches of rain just to get out of this drought. So that's not going to happen. You're right, Mark. But I do think we could see some really helpful rain when it comes to, say, agriculture, farmers, even our lawns. I mean, a little bit of rain would go a long way. This is the Drought Monitor that came in yesterday. And we'll zoom in a little bit closer here to our area. And this maroon color, well, that's about as bad as drought can get. That is the worst. It's exceptional. And we see that from Uvalde to Hondo, Bandera, down to Pearsall, Pleasanton. Even here in San Antonio, we're in an extreme drought. This probably comes as no surprise to you. But we need that rain, and we need it to fall over the correct areas. And there is a good chance of widespread rain, meaning everyone can get in on this, and that's going to be going into next week. We look at Medina Lake, always a good barometer when it comes to where we are drought-wise. 17% full, and it's still falling. It is down 58 feet, down almost 10 inches over a 3-month period, or 10 feet, I should say, over a 3-month period. So you can see how bad conditions are getting there. Time-lapse shows we've got a lot of clouds this morning. It's been a very warm start. We have a lot of humidity out there. Temperatures at this hour sitting at 77. South-southeasterly winds at about 11 miles per hour. Dew point is at 70. So the temperature and the dew point a little bit higher than they've been last couple mornings. It's going to be a muggy start. 75 Uvalde, 79 in Del Rio, 78 Pleasanton, 79 in Gonzales. And most everyone's in the mid to upper 70s. Even Stinson is still at 80, which is pretty impressive for this time of morning. Dew points. Where do we end up? Well, dew points will be high today, especially to start, and then we'll fall back down into the mid-60s this afternoon. But that's enough to keep perhaps a heat index in place today and into the afternoon hours. So while the temperature may only make it into the upper 90s versus triple digits like we've been seeing, it'll feel a little bit warmer than that. 97 here in town. It'll feel probably close to 98, 99 during the afternoon hours. This is what we're watching this afternoon. A little swirl in the atmosphere right here. This moves towards Texas this evening, and that brings our rain chances, some rain chances with it. The severe risk today is low end, but it is there. And the issue we're going to have is a pretty significant cap on the atmosphere. If storms can break through that cap, then I think we'll get a couple of strong to severe storms. But if the cap holds, we may not see anything at all. So it's one of those kind of days where it's just a 20% chance of rain. Cooler air to our north. It's 37 in Denver, 35 Casper. Some snow in Denver today. That cool air pushes south, brings some cooler air into Texas by Sunday, and that's exactly what we're hoping for. Today, just a 20% chance of rain. As we get into this evening, not much there. Tomorrow, I think it's still pretty quiet and actually pretty hot, just a 20% chance of rain on Saturday. But as we get into Saturday night, here comes some storms with that frontal boundary, 40% chance of rain Saturday night, Sunday morning. And then even during the day on Sunday, we may see some more small rain chances throughout the day. 1 to 3 inches potentially of rain through Wednesday morning of next week. So this is what we have to look forward to with some pretty good chances of rain Monday and Tuesday. Here's how it looks in the 7-day forecast. 97 degrees today, 100 on Saturday with that 20% chance of rain, but a 40% chance Saturday night, Sunday morning. And then the 40% chance Monday, 60% chance on Tuesday. It's been a while since we've had percentages like that in our forecast.
What are we happiest about? That drop in temperatures, the rain, or all the above? It is multiple choice.
All of it.
It is all good, I think, in every way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope those temps just stay for the rest of, May.
Well, the average temperature in May is 80s. We've just been so far out of the realm of, it's just been insane. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Justin. At 5:23, about 76 degrees.
All right, up next in your morning spotlight, Rihanna welcomes new baby. Oh, congrats, Riri. Plus, a preview of the new sci-fi drama, Night Sky.
Rihanna is now a mom, and a famous Hollywood film composer is remembered.
Here's CNN's Douglas Hyde with the Hollywood Minute.
Rihanna is now a mom. The singer and her boyfriend, rapper ASAP Rocky, are now proud parents, according to a source close to them. It's the couple's first child together.
You ready to make history? You say that every time.
Night Sky debuts this week on Amazon Prime. The sci-fi show stars J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek as a couple who discovers a buried chamber in their backyard that leads to a deserted planet. Simmons says Night Sky is packed with surprising twists and turns.
There are a number of jaw-dropping moments, including the end of the first episode, that I was utterly surprised by, and it just got more intriguing as a story.
Film composer Vangelis has died. The Greek musician pioneered the use of synthesizers in movies, making his mark with an Oscar-winning score for Chariots of Fire and the sci-fi classic Blade Runner. Vangelis was 79. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
527, 76 degrees.
We'll still ahead on GMSA. President Biden is in South Korea today. We'll get a look at his itinerary. That's coming up.
And this is the most expensive car ever sold at auction. Can you guess how much it went for?
And ahead on GMSA at 6, MasterCard says you'll soon be able to pay for things with just your smile. We'll have the details on the company's new facial recognition system.
Making headlines this morning, President Biden heads overseas to visit South Korea, but not everyone is expected to give him a warm welcome.
76 degrees at 5:31 this morning. Justin has some good news. We have some rain in sight, cooler temps. I'll explain when those are expected to happen in just a bit.
I'd say it's great news overall. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It's May 20th. Sarah is in for Steph, and we are so glad you're starting the end of your work week with us.
Yeah, happy Friday. We made it. We made it through a tough week.
We did.
We did. But Justin, we have a little present.
We do. I mean, all we're asking is to get out of the 90s. It's a small ask, but it is going to happen. I think as we get into Sunday, we're going to get some cooler air. Highs maybe in the lower 80s. That would be really fantastic. Reason for that, cold front, which we see here, it is starting to usher in some cooler air in places like Casper. Denver, it's at 37 right now. They're expecting some snow later today. That front eventually makes its down to San Antonio, but it takes until Sunday morning for that to happen. So in the meantime, it's still going to be warm. 77 degrees right now, 79 down there in Corpus Christi. And here are the headlines for the next couple days. So we could see an isolated storm or two today. The chances are low, but they are there. It is going to be hot this afternoon. Then some triple digits on Saturday, maybe a few storms late. Saturday's going to be our last hot day, and then by Sunday, there's that cooler air. Chance of rain, too. We'll see some showers and storms, especially early on Sunday, and then more chances Monday and Tuesday of next week. In the meantime, here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast, 77 by 8 o'clock. We're going to see quite a bit of cloud cover this morning, and then those clouds break up noontime, 88 degrees. We will add in some extra cloud cover, though, this afternoon as a little piece of energy works through, and there is that chance for an isolated shower or storm. And if we do see a storm, there is a threat that it could be strong to severe. So we'll keep you posted there. Otherwise, high of 97. Probably feels a little bit warmer than that when you factor in some of that humidity today. All right, we want some good news on the roads too, Steven. How are things looking right now?
Well, I have some good news too, Justin. That construction that we've been talking about here at 1604 at Bandera just wrapped up. I-10 at Frio, things look like they're moving just fine for this Friday morning commute. Let's get that wide look at TransGuide, and you can see I-10 at Presa. Not a whole lot out there, but we are seeing some folks getting their morning started early with us. Maybe going to go grab that cup of coffee and drive off into the weekend. But always be on the lookout and stay alert. Let's take a look at our map right now, because we did talk about a crash that popped up there off of 281. That was near Sprucewood. Now, that crash was actually reported yesterday, so it looks like it was a fluke from our map, but thankfully it's not there anymore, and first responders have cleared that up, and right now you're basically going to have the lanes to yourself. But as always, make sure you drive carefully. And as we take a look at those travel times, they are looking like they're in great shape right now. Pretty green from Seguin on I-10 westbound, a 30-minute drive time to downtown San Antonio, 23 minutes minutes if you're on 87 and Lavernia heading in those northbound lanes, and just 27 minutes coming up from Floresville. So looks like we're in great shape there. And one last drive around town, 281 at Grayson. The morning is off. People are moving. We'll have more updates right here on GMSA. Sarah?
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, several bad moves behind the wheel have led to a big mess along a set of railroad tracks on the city's west side. Crews have been working to remove the mangled metal of what used to be a pickup from the tracks near Highway 90 and General Huddle. Our Katrina Weber is there live. Now, Katrina, was anyone hurt?
Thankfully, no injuries here. Police say no one was actually in the truck when it was hit by the train. Now, right now, we do have some crews actively working here. They managed to pull most of what was the truck off of the tracks, and they are now just trying to clear things up and make sure that the tracks are okay. We can't get any closer right now. Police have asked us to stay back just because pieces of metal may be flying. But let me give you a look at the video so that you can get a close-up look at what happened here just after 2 this morning. The police tell us that there was someone in the pickup when they went down a dead-end street, went through a fence, and then hit a train that was parked on the tracks. This was near a street called Kirk Place. Well, a second train came along, hit that truck, which was then, by that point, abandoned on the tracks, and then wedged it between that train that arrived and the one that was already there. So they have had quite a time trying to get this truck off of the tracks. They had to cut it up into pieces. Police say that they did contact the owner of that pickup, and he told them he was not in it. He had loaned it to a couple of friends. Police still have not tracked down those friends to figure out exactly what went wrong. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. 5:35. President Biden is in South Korea this morning, his first trip to Asia as commander-in-chief.
But not everyone is welcoming him to that region. As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, North Korea seems poised to test a long-range missile, possibly while Biden is across the border.
We were monitoring and perhaps even expecting the North Koreans to do something.
The U.S. says North Korea may test a long-range missile while President Joe Biden is in South Korea or Japan. Here's a more specific warning on board Air Force One during the president's overnight flight to Asia.
There is a genuine possibility, a real risk of some kind of provocation while we're in the region. That could take the form of a nuclear test.
Intelligence officials use satellite images like these to monitor North Korea. They say the country appears to be fueling a missile. If it launches, the Pentagon says the president will be safe.
Should that happen, we'll take a look at our own security posture and footprint as appropriate.
It would underscore one of the main messages we are sending on this trip, which is that the United States is here for our allies and partners.
The White House says Biden will meet South Korea's new president on his trip. He's also scheduled to tour a Samsung facility and meet the CEO of Hyundai. Then it's on to Japan to meet with leaders of that country, Australia, and India. The informal Quad Security Alliance is expected to push back on China's influence in the region.
We need to have a more robust, like-minded states coalition because China's rise is now the global phenomenon.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Renters across the U.S. paying more to stay in their homes. It looks like that trend will continue. A report from Realtor.com shows the national median rent was over $1,800 a month in April. That's a jump of nearly 17% from a year ago and the highest on record. If the trend continues, the report projects rent could be more than $2,000 a month by August. There's signs of possible relief for renters. Rent growth slowed for a third straight month in April.
And buying a home is not getting any easier either. Home prices are hitting another record high. The National Association of Realtors reports the median price of a home rose to over $391,000 last month. That's up nearly 15% from a year ago. Meanwhile, home sales fell for the third month in a row in April. Rising mortgage rates and limited affordable choices have pushed many would-be home buyers out of the market.
Mercedes-Benz just made history, recently confirming it sold the world's most expensive car. The very, very rare 1955 Mercedes-Benz Slr Coupe was sold to a private owner for 135 million euros, about $142 million US. Hagerty, a company that tracks collector car values, said that makes the price the priciest set of wheels ever. Previous record was a reported $70 million paid for a in 2018 for a 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO. The record-setting Mercedes was sold at an invitation-only auction on May 5th. Most of us did not get the invitation. It was just one of two of its kind, claimed to have a top speed of 186. The other one will remain at Mercedes-Benz Museum. Mercedes says the money from the sale will be used to establish the Mercedes-Benz Fund, a global scholarship fund. Beautiful car.
Cool car. Looks like something James Bond would drive.
That's what I was thinking too. Very Aston Martin-ish.
Yep.
5:39, about 76 degrees.
Still ahead, how researchers are making a new kind of solar panel that could be used at night.
Plus, a rare case of a disease called monkeypox has popped up in the U.S. Why the Surgeon General says you should worry about it.
76 degrees at 5:39 this morning. Another muggy start. Justin says we have 1 or 2 more days of those high record temps, and then we have some good news on our way with a cool front and some rain. He'll explain in just a bit.
5:42, welcome back. The CDC now working to investigate a case of monkeypox here in the U.S., a disease that's popping up in several countries that don't normally report it, including the U.S.
However, as CNN's Mandy Gaither reports, the Surgeon General is telling Americans to be aware, but not to worry too much.
It's a disease that's rare in humans, but the CDC says a patient in Massachusetts is now being treated for monkeypox.
The good news is we have one confirmed case right now, but we should also always be on the lookout for more cases.
The CDC says symptoms start out like the flu: fever, headache, muscle and back aches, swollen lymph nodes, chills, and exhaustion. Within 1 to 3 days after a fever, the patient develops a rash, often starting on the face, then spreading to the rest of the body. The illness typically lasts 2 to 4 weeks. In Africa, it's been shown to cause death in as many as 1 in 10 people infected.
The individual who was diagnosed with monkeypox is someone who had recently traveled abroad and had actually then come back to the United States.
The CDC is tracking multiple clusters of monkeypox reported within the past 2 weeks in other countries, including Portugal, Spain, and the United Kingdom. In Canada, health officials are investigating 17 suspected cases observed over the last week. The first case reported in Montreal on May 12th. The agency is also on the lookout for any more cases in the U.S.
At this time, we don't want people to worry. At this point, again, these numbers are still small. We want them to be aware of these symptoms, and if they have any concerns, to reach out to their doctor if they have any of the symptoms.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
5:44, 76 degrees.
Up next, first it was straws, now ketchup. Why Heinz is developing a new kind of bottle made out of paper. In your morning consumer headline, scientists say they may be able to one day use solar power without direct sunlight. Australian researchers believe they have figured out a way to produce electricity from so-called nighttime solar power. They say their device generates electricity from heat radiated as infrared light. It takes advantage of solar energy that the Earth radiates back into outer space at night. So right now, the device only produces a very small amount of power. Researchers believe the new technology could help us produce electricity for a range of uses in the future.
Okay, try this on. Snack brand Cheez-Its and music streaming site Pandora out with a cross promotion that, in a way, is a treat for your ears, too. The selling point is the crackers feature cheese that is aged to the sound of hip-hop music.
What?
The brand points to a study suggesting aging cheese to hip-hop may strengthen its taste and smell. The limited edition crackers go on sale May 26th on its Cheez-Its online shop.
All right, Heinz Ketchup is going from red to green, well, sort of. The company has announced plans to be the first ketchup brand with a paper bottle. Heinz is teaming up with packaging company Pulpex to make its iconic bottle renewable and recyclable. But it will be a while before you see a Heinz paper ketchup bottle. The company says it's developing a prototype and then has to do performance and consumer testing.
Glass, paper, doesn't matter as long as you can solve that whole
I wonder
problem.
If it's not in glass anymore.
If it's going to be better, because they said the secret is to hit it in the middle,
in the side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You ever had that ketchup ketchup dilemma, Stephen Cavazos?
It's all over the shirt, nice white shirt. Of course, it would happen to me, though, right? Especially at the diners. Yeah, get a knife, and sometimes it's just easier to get a knife and just
that's true.
Yeah.
Put it on the burger. All right, things are moving, but not here at 35 at Pine. At least for one driver, we are seeing a stalled, what appears to be a big rig out there, some sort of trailer, but we can see that there is a first responder out there working to help. Not clear how long this is going to last, but keep in mind this is happening right now there off 35 at Pine. Let's bring it in. We are seeing that picked up right there along the southbound lane. So drivers, be on the lookout if you are traveling through that area. And as always, we want you to plan your commute. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening here, at least for tomorrow morning here on the Loop 1604 on the east side of San Antonio. There will be some bridge beam placement, but keep in mind this will be tomorrow morning at Saturday evening. So it's pretty much going to last all day. There at Greytown Road to Loop 1604, you can expect 4 lanes to be closed and 4 ramps to be closed. We know that there's a lot of work being done. Work that's been taking place for quite a while, so just make sure to plan ahead. Again, that is tomorrow morning. But right now, things are still not looking too good out here at 35 at Pine. We'll continue to watch the roads closely, but you know the same. You do the same.
Yes,
guys.
sir. I had another revelation, guys, about this paper ketchup bottle. Have you ever broken a ketchup bottle in the kitchen, like accidentally dropped it?
It's a disaster.
Because it's a big sticky mess, and then you've got glass everywhere. So this solves at least part of that problem.
But that's true.
Powerful.
It's true. You know, my thing is at the restaurants, you know, the squeeze bottles, but they're like, the bottle itself is red, so you think there's still ketchup in there.
And then you're like,
residual.
Super disappointing.
You just can't win.
I know. Ketchup issues. Anyway. Let's take a look at the water vapor, guys. We'll show you what is headed our way this morning. We have a system in Mexico, a little bit of a twist here, and there's actually a lot of dry air mixed in with this system. Plus, we have a cap over our atmosphere, so we're not terribly optimistic about our rain chances today. But with this overhead, as it moves overhead, and a dry line in place, there is a risk for severe weather. So we have to mention this. I think that the threat of seeing a storm is low, about 20%. But if a storm does develop, then we could get some severe weather. Any of these areas shaded in pink is where that threat is there. Hail, gusty winds being the main issues. Otherwise, we're just dealing with more heat and humidity. 77 degrees right now. Dew point is at 70. We've got a south-southeasterly wind at about 11 miles per hour, gusting to 24. So that's really keeping temperatures up this morning. And you look at the dew points. These are a little bit higher than what we've seen previous days. And these dew points are going to stay a little bit higher today. So the heat index may also be a problem. Temperatures perhaps a little bit cooler, but then we trade it off with higher heat indices. Dew points right now in the 70s. That is in the oppressive category. Temperature-wise, 79 over there in Gonzales, 78 Pleasanton, 77 right now in Hondo, and then 75 in Helotes. So we are off to a warmer start than what we've seen previous mornings. Let's plan out your day. 77 degrees, 8 o'clock, mostly cloudy. I think we go partly cloudy noontime, 88 degrees, still a good southerly breeze. And then we're going to put in a little bit more cloud cover during the afternoon and a 20% chance of that pop-up shower or storm. Temperatures should top out close to 97. We're ready for that cool down, right? Take a look at these temperatures up across the northwest. 35 Casper, 41 Boise, 45 Salt Lake City. That's the cooler air. That is the front that will approach us on Sunday. It will cool us down. Highs will be back in the 80s, maybe low 80s by Sunday afternoon. But it will take some time before it'll get here. We think, again, Sunday morning is when we can expect that arrival of the front. 76 Waco, 78 right now in San Angelo. Again, it's 77 here in town. Here's our forecast. 20% chance of rain today. This model does put out a couple of spotty showers, maybe a storm. Then as we get into tonight, a lot of that starts to move east. Tomorrow, we start off with some clouds and then go mostly sunny during the afternoon. Saturday is going to be a hot day, but we will add in a 20% chance of rain late in the evening. And then by Saturday night, Sunday morning, we bump it up to a 40% chance of rain. Showers and storms possible with this cold front as it moves through. So it'll bring the cooler air and a chance for rain. Even into Sunday, I still think we'll see some chances of rain, about a 30% chance. As far as rainfall goes, about 1 to 3 inches on average through Wednesday of next week. So this is long term, but it could eventually add up to some pretty decent numbers for us, and that's what we're hoping. In the short term, 97 today, 100 tomorrow, so still hot. But 81 Sunday, there's that 40% chance of rain early. And then look at Monday and Tuesday. Monday, 40% chance of rain. Tuesday, 60% chance of rain. Highs in the 80s, and that's when we could pick up some decent rainfall totals, guys.
Outstanding forecast.
It looks
on
so
several
much
levels.
better.
A++.
Mm-hmm. to get really, really good grades today, Justin.
Thank you.
Across the board there, too. 553, 76 degrees.
Take a look at our lotto numbers. Pick 3, 134, Fireball 1. Daily 40705, Fireball 4.
Cash 5 numbers 10, 14, 23, 24, 26. Texas two-step 12, 21, 22, 25 with a bonus ball of 1.
Good morning. Coming up, the CDC has authorized a COVID booster shot for children 5 to 11 years old. White House COVID response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha joining us with what parents need to know. Also, our Mary Bruce is live in South Korea traveling with President Biden as he arrives for his first trip to Asia since taking office. We'll tell you why the stakes are so high. Plus, we're also live from London. Our Maggie Rulli right there giving us a first look inside the new Big Ben, the iconic clock tower getting a makeover just in time for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration. And we are also live in Michael's beloved home city of Houston, Texas, as we rise and shine there this morning. It's all coming up right here on GMA.
Ahead in the next hour of GMSA, it's a return to my series Gone Fishing. This time it is the saltwater edition. We're taking a look at this year at what's different on the Texas coast and all that fishermen and women need to know going into the summer season. Plus, we're giving you some quick fixes to protect your data and privacy, and we're using smart devices. We all want to be smart about that. And a pickup truck is nothing but a mangled mess after a train slams into it. Katrina Weber is live with the latest, including what happened to the driver. And it's a Friday morning, and Stephen Cavazos is on top of what's going on out there on the roads for you as you get your morning commute going. There's 35 at Pine. We'll be right back.
A man trying to cross a West Side street is hit by a truck and rushed to the hospital with multiple injuries. Where this happened and what police know so far.
And what was supposed to be a routine traffic stop by Bexar County deputies turns into a chase that lands one of their own in an ambulance. That story straight ahead.
Best news of the morning, 76 degrees at 6 o'clock. Justin says we have some relief in sight that includes rain and cooler temps. He'll explain in just a bit.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Yeah, Justin easily has one of the best jobs of the day here at KSAT. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It's May 20th. Sarah is in for Steph. Good to see you here this morning.
Always just such a blessing and pleasure to be with you guys, GMSA, during the week. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. And okay, I just feel like we want to get through today, tomorrow, and it's Sunday when we can expect things to start changing, Justin?
That's true. That's true. We registered a small victory yesterday. We did not get up to 100. So there's that. Yes. It's only 98 degrees. Felt still hot. And it will still feel hot today and tomorrow. But as you guys alluded to, changes head our way by Sunday. And we're already starting to see some of that cool air move into parts of Oklahoma, Colorado. It is headed towards Texas. So yeah, it was hot yesterday, but here's what you need to know as we go into the weekend. Pop-up storm this afternoon. We could see a severe storm if we get a storm, and that's a big if because there's a pretty good cap on the atmosphere. I think rain chances in general are low today. There's not going to be a lot of coverage. Saturday, triple digits return to the forecast, and then we could see a few storms late on Saturday. But it's Saturday night into Sunday where we get a front, better chances of rain, and much cooler. Highs on Sunday mainly be in the 80s, low 80s, which would be a really nice change. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. 79 degrees by 9 o'clock this morning. By 11 o'clock, 83. We're at 88 noontime, 91 by 1 p.m. We're going to add in some extra cloud cover this afternoon and put in a 20% chance of rain to account for that pop-up storm if it does happen. 97. Your expected high southerly winds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour. Much more on all of this, all of these changes headed our way. But let's check in now with your weather authority, Stephen Cavazos. What's going on?
The weather authority, nice.
I'm sorry, traffic authority.
Just kidding. But I do want to say
this. Weather authority too.
I could, but I do want to say I just want a 10. So I mean, that's all I want to do. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the traffic right now. 35 at southbound. I mean, we like to have fun here on GMSA. You can see traffic's getting moving there now that we are in the 6 a.m. hour, but we still have this problem off 35 at Pine. Make sure to watch out. That's actually taking place in the southbound lanes there, and thankfully we're not really seeing any trouble. But keep in mind that image that you just saw on TransGuide was a stalled called 18-wheelers. So make sure that you give them plenty of room. Those first responders out there, we saw those flashing lights, move over or slow down. Those are the rules of the road, I should say. Let's get a wide look at the metro area at 6:03. Everything's looking pretty green on the screen and nothing to complain about just yet. So drivers, just enjoy the time when you get out on the roadway. Make sure to also just take it easy because right now, no delays if you're traveling into the Alamo City. 28 minutes on 37 Pleasanton in those northbound lanes, 19 minutes on Highway 90 in the eastbound lanes heading in from Castroville, and your arrival from Lytle should be about a 16-minute drive time on I-35 northbound. One last drive around town, 1604 there at Valley Meadow. The morning is off. People are moving. We'll have more construction to be on the lookout for. Have those camera phones handy. That'll be coming up a little bit later on. Mark, Sarah.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, a man is in critical condition after being hit by a car on the city's west side. Happened just before 11 last night in the 1700 block of Fredericksburg Road near North Zarzamora. SAPD says a 35-year-old man was crossing the street when he was hit by someone driving a black truck. Police say the driver of the truck did stop to help. The victim was taken to a hospital with a broken pelvis, leg, and possible head trauma.
In your top stories this morning, a traffic stop turns into a chase last night and ends with a deputy hurt and 3 people arrested. That ended in a crash on the city's northeast side. Deputies initially stopped a white SUV near Loop 410 in Rigsby on the southeast side. BCSO says when a gang unit deputy arrived on scene, officials realized the vehicle had been stolen. They say that's when the driver took off and clipped the assisting deputy in the leg. Deputies chased the suspects, and it finally ended after the driver of the stolen SUV crashed into a parked car on Goldfield off of the frontage road of I-35. BCSO says 2 men and a woman tried to run away but were eventually caught. The trio faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault of a peace officer and evading arrest. The deputy that was injured was taken to a Texas med clinic for evaluation.
2 brothers pointing the finger at each other in a robbery that turned deadly. The capital murder trial for Eduardo Torres continues. In day 2, the jury was shown videos of police interrogating Torres about the crime back in 2016. In one of those videos, Torres blames his brother for a man murdered at a bus stop.
If it's murder, then that's what he did. I didn't shoot nobody. He's not right in the head to begin with.
Eduardo Torres still denies taking part in any crime. His own brother has taken a plea deal in the case and is expected to testify against Eduardo during this trial.
A senior prank at New Braunfels High School doesn't have anyone laughing this morning. Students say what was supposed to be an innocent prank with balloons and streamers quickly got out of control.
Yeah, raw eggs and meat were thrown around campus. Mashed potatoes were used to clog drains, and the senselessness did not stop there. Students say fountains were tied down, creating flooding problems, and some school trophies were stolen. The district and New Braunfels police are now trying to identify which students crossed the line.
The New Braunfels Police Department says they did catch a large group of people on campus Wednesday night. They were identified and released the same night. Students were then called into the principal's office.
Like the principal told us, like no matter how far you went, as long as you trespassed initially, as long as you went in the door, you're suspended.
A police spokesperson could not comment due to the active investigation, and a district spokesperson says she could not discuss disciplinary actions for privacy reasons.
This morning, pharmacies are preparing to roll out new shots as the CDC officially recommends Pfizer boosters for children 5 to 11 years old.
And it comes as COVID-19 cases are climbing across the country with new infections involving kids at their highest level since February. ABC's M. Nguyen has the latest from Washington.
With summer approaching, so are concerns for another wave of COVID-19. Already, the country is averaging nearly 100,000 new COVID cases a day, infections quadrupling in the last 6 weeks. About 25,000 patients in the hospital, the highest number since mid-March. Now, the CDC officially signing off on new booster shots for kids 5 to 11 years old, at least 5 months after their initial shot.
The clinical trials did show an excellent safety profile. The side effects seen with this booster dose in this age group were very similar to those seen with, let's say, the flu vaccine, soreness at the injection site, in some cases, some headache, fever, chills. Again, 0 serious safety signals in clinical trials.
Pharmacies and health systems getting ready.
I believe our organization will be looking to start vaccinating as early as next week.
Still, health officials are worried for that age group, where around 70% of those children are not yet fully vaccinated.
boosters are great once we've got everyone their first round, and I think that needs to be a priority.
The CDC also pointing to the vaccine's waning protection across all age groups from 60% after 2 doses to 20% a few months later, though still effective against severe disease. And for those younger than 5 years old, the FDA reminding parents that Moderna's emergency use authorization application was just completed. FDA Representative Dr. Dorn Fink saying, "We are working hard to review the data and bring the request to the committee as rapidly as we can." In the last week, 39 states and territories have reported increases in hospital admissions of at least 10%. The CDC is now again recommending masks indoors. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Well, on a lighter note, last summer I launched a special series for GMSA called Gone Fishing with a focus on freshwater fishing. Now, as we ramp up to summer 2022, I decided to hit the coast looking for redfish and speckled trout. Last month, I took a charter trip out of Aransas Pass with Captain Justin Ivey. I'd fished with him back in 2020. Things were different this time. He put us on a limit of redfish, but we didn't catch a single trout. It's not his fault. They're scarce. Last February's winter storm killed millions of fish in the Laguna Madre, including vast numbers of trout. To protect the species, Texas Parks and Wildlife has strict rules in effect for the foreseeable future.
They went down to 3 trout, 17 to 23 inches. And I mean, us as guides, we're looking for 15, 16-inch fish for customers. And I mean, it's probably going to take us 10 to 15 fish to try to find that 17-inch trout.
Now, Justin says he's up to the challenge. Again, those regulations are for the Laguna Madre, the most popular intercoastal fishing grounds just hours from San Antonio. To hear more about how charter fishing has changed for many guides and to see more of our catches, tune in to GMSA at 9. Join us for Gone Fishing, the saltwater edition.
Do you want to tease how many you caught total?
We caught our limit, the maximum.
Who did better, you or photographer Sal?
We tied.
Really?
We tied, yeah.
No, Photog Sal, I mean, he's always got tricks up his sleeve.
Well, he's recording me with the full TV broadcast camera.
And still tied you.
And I'm recording with my iPhone 12. Still looked okay. 6:10 right now, about 76 degrees.
Well, still to come on GMSA, a major grocer is helping customers speed up their trip to the store with smart shopping carts. We'll explain how they work.
And after the break, a story for all you car enthusiasts. Mercedes just sold the world's most expensive car. We'll tell you about the record-breaking price tag that has nothing to do with MasterCard.
No. All right, 76 degrees at 6:10 this morning. It's a muggy start and have high temps today, tomorrow, Saturday. But Justin says relief is in sight. He'll let us know about that when we come back. You'll soon be able to pay for things with just a smile. MasterCard says it's rolling out new facial recognition system. It allows customers to pay with a wave of the hand over a fingerprint reader or a smile into a camera to measure facial features. No need for a card or a smartphone. MasterCard says it's testing out the new biometric system in certain markets around the world, including a supermarket chain in Brazil. The system will later be introduced in North America and in Europe.
Mercedes-Benz just made history, confirming it recently sold the world's most expensive car. The very rare 1955 Mercedes-Benz Slr Coupe sold to a private owner for 135 million euros. That's about $142 million US. Haggerty, a company that tracks collector car values, says that makes it the priciest set of wheels ever. It was one of just 2 of its kind, claimed to have a top speed of almost 200 miles an hour. That one will remain at the Mercedes-Benz Museum.
All right, Stephen, not too much fast driving out there right now at Loop 1604 in Bandera.
Yeah, slow moving traffic right there. But can you imagine driving in that Mercedes? I would hate to even take that out on the roadways, though.
I'd be so nervous.
I'd be so nervous. But drivers, be alert and pack that patience. As Sarah was mentioning, things aren't fast moving out there. You can see that we do have traffic down to just 1 lane. Our friends at TransGuide are adjusting the camera shot now. Right now, we're not sure exactly what's happening out there. TxDOT has reported a stall in that area, but it looks like it could be be a possible crash. Again, not confirmed, but we're going to have to watch that area closely. Seeing that buildup right there in the eastbound lanes of 1604, you can see that stretch of orange is where that's being located. Again, that's in the eastbound lanes there at Hausman, but we are adding a few more stalls to that list. Let's take a drive over here to I-35 southbound at Pine Street. We've talked about this one for a little while now. It's that stalled 18-wheeler, but we also have another stall right over here that now our map is picking up as a crash off I-35 northbound at Cesar Chavez Boulevard. So looking pretty busy at this hour. We'll see how the morning continues to shape up, but make sure you plan your morning accordingly because we do have some road work or column work that is going to take place overnight until the early hours of tomorrow morning. That will be up until May 22nd. Keep in mind that will wrap around 5 in the morning, but you'll see an alternating full closure in both directions there at the Culebra Road intersection. Grab those phones, open the camera app, and scan that QR code. Of course, that will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page, and that will have the latest on any closures taking place in your area or anything else like what's happening here off 16 at 4 Bandera that could impact that drive time. Guys?
Thank you, Stephen.
Justin, time to roll the school bus.
It is, and I'm kind of sad because we're not going to be able to do this for much longer. Summer is almost here. Can you believe it? Just a couple more weeks left to school. This morning, 75 degrees, overcast, southerly winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and gusty. It's a warm morning, and it will be a hot afternoon, as you might imagine. A couple stray storms, though, possible today, and we'll still see those gusty winds after school. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy once school is winding down. It is Friday, too. We're headed into the weekend, and we've got some good news for you. We look at the time lapse right now. The clouds are here. It's been a breezy morning and also a little bit more humid. So temperatures have been staying up. 77 degrees at the airport. Southeasterly winds at about 11. Dew point is at 70. So that's pretty sticky. 79 Gonzales, 78 Pleasanton, 77 Hondo, 74 in Kerrville. Yesterday we had 60s on the map. Not this morning. Bernie's Day is sitting in 72, 74 in Boulevardy, 78 right now in New Braunfels. Dew point trend today. We're going to see the dew points probably stay right around 70, maybe drop off a little bit, but that's enough humidity there to where heat index is going to be a real concern today, even though temperatures will be right around 97. It'll feel warmer than that, maybe close to 100 by the late afternoon. So here are the forecast temperatures. 88 degrees by noontime. Close to 97 today. Again, you'll have to tack on a couple of degrees for that feels like number. 99 in Devine, 101 in Pearsall. Looking at the satellite, we've got a little area of low pressure out here over Mexico. This will be moving in a little bit later this afternoon, so that could give us some lift. The problem we're going to have is there is a cap on the atmosphere, pretty good cap on the atmosphere, and those storms aren't able to build through that. So as long as the cap is there, don't know that we'll see much. But should a storm break through that gap, and it's possible, but it's a low-end chance, about a 20% shot, then we could see some severe weather. This area outlined in this pink color represents where we could see strong to severe storms. It's just a low-end chance. Hail, gusty winds would be the main threats if we do get any storms going. Meantime, we turn your attention to the northwest and cold air. 34 Casper, 37 right now. Denver, snow in the forecast for Denver today as this cold air works towards Texas, and just updated this. Amarillo, the front is through, 58 degrees there. This front is headed towards San Antonio, but it takes until Sunday morning for it to get here. So we've still got today to get through the heat and tomorrow. And then you'll finally get some relief. Here's a look at the forecast. 20% chance of rain today, as we talked about, just some isolated showers and storms. This is around 5 o'clock today, and then all of that energy moves east tonight. As we get into tomorrow morning, clouds build in. We start off mostly cloudy, but mostly sunny during the afternoon. There is a threat for another pop-up storm tomorrow, and once again, we could see a couple strong to severe storms if we can get some storms to fire. But it's not until Saturday night that our really begin to pick up. Saturday night into Sunday morning. 40% chance of rain as our front comes through, and then once it passes by, we'll have temperatures in the Sunday morning. Highs only in the low 80s Sunday afternoon, and still a continued chance for rain, 30% during the day on Sunday. As far as rainfall goes, in general, about 1 to 3 inches, and this is through Wednesday morning. So we're talking about an extended period here, but we have the potential to get some decent rain. This, which is fantastic. Here's how it looks in the 7-day forecast. 97 today, 100 tomorrow. 81 though on Sunday. There's that 40% chance generally early in the day on Sunday. 85 Monday, 40% chance of rain, and a 60% chance of rain on Tuesday with a high of 84. So things are looking much better. We just got to get through the next couple of days. Mark.
Thank you, Justin. From weather to morning sports, Boston Celtics playing Game 2 last night of the East Finals without former Spur Derek White. The guard traded to Boston the day of the trade deadline, given the night off since he and his wife are having a baby. Congratulations to both of you. In Miami, Boston's Al Horford and Marcus Smart both back in the lineup after missing Game 1. Miami jumps out front early, a three-pointer giving the Heat a 10-point lead. From that point on, all Celtics. Marcus Smart for 3. Grant Williams with back-to-back threes. Boston goes on a 25-3 run to go from being down 10 to up 11 in the first quarter. Boston in control 70-45 at the half. Second half, Heat start to chip away at the Celtics lead. Jimmy Butler knocks down a mid-range jumper, then for the bucket and the foul. Boston lead is down to 17. Celtics bend, but they don't break. The lead going back up to 25 in the fourth. Boston had 3 players with 24 or more, led by Tatum's 27. Boston steals Game 2 and home court advantage as they head back home for Game 3 on Saturday. The final last night, 127-102. Boston. Out in the West, Dallas takes on Golden State in Game 2 tonight at 8 o'clock. And that's a quick look at morning sports.
Thank you, Mark. It's 6:22 and 76 degrees. Twitter's crackdown on misinformation. Just ahead, we'll tell you what the social media company is now doing to alert its users of possible misleading information.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Twitter's crackdown on misinformation. The company will place warning notices over tweets deemed to be misleading coming from highly visible accounts, especially during times of crisis. For now, the policy will focus on international armed conflicts.
TikTok is reportedly testing ways to play games on its app with plans for a major push into gaming. The move would likely boost its ad revenue. The increase the time users spend on the app. Reports say tests for the gaming feature are underway overseas.
Albertsons, the latest grocery store to roll out smart carts to help you skip the checkout line. Items are automatically added as customers place them in the cart. Designed by a startup founded by former Amazon engineers. The company says it will free up cashiers for other tasks.
6:26, 76 degrees.
Straight ahead on GMSA, are the apps that you use on your smart devices exposing you to hackers? We have some quick fixes to help you keep your info private.
But first, the owner of a truck gets a rude awakening this morning when he learns his truck no longer looks like a truck. Our Katrina Weber has the details on the story that's unfolding right now on the west side.
And we've got some flashing lights out there. Looks like one of those rolling deals at 35 and Cesar Chavez. Heavy traffic, though. It's a Friday, and we are off and running. Stephen will have an update on the commute and big changes to our local forecast straight ahead.
San Antonio police say it was 2 trains versus a truck, and the truck didn't win. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. Thankfully, no one was inside that pickup, but it created quite a mess on these tracks on the west side. I'll tell you more about it.
Outside with live cam, pretty uneventful morning so far, but we could use a couple of things around here. Downpours and a break on our power bills, and Justin said we might just get both if we're careful and lucky. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, May 20th. Glad you're with us, and Sarah's in today.
Happy to be here. Yeah, you said
happy to have you here.
Break on your power bill.
Yeah.
Are you one of those that as soon as I leave, 77, 78, and I just get so mad if I don't do it.
I got it programmed to go up when I leave, and then, you know, cool down as I'm coming home. So, but you know, that's a normal summer routine, especially as we get into, say, July or August.
But we usually don't start this early.
Right, and May's been pretty brutal. We've been talking about that now the entire month.
Yeah, and the way gas prices are, you know, we could use a lower electricity
Can we just
bill,
get a break?
water bill. I think this weather pattern is going to help us some.
Good.
I think it is going to look a little bit better as we get into next week. Highs today are still high. Look, we're still going to be up around 97. The record is 100. We probably won't hit the record, but it's still going to be hot and humid. Other places in Texas may. 104 in San Angelo, the forecast high today, Abbey 105, so we're still baking. But I'll turn your attention to Amarillo. The high there, 89, and that's a sign of things to come. Cooler air starting to work into the Texas Panhandle this morning. It will eventually make its way down into San Antonio by Sunday, and it will feel so much better. In the meantime, 77 degrees right now, 78 Pleasanton, 77 in Hondo, 75 in Helotes. We're off to a pretty warm start. There's a lot of humidity out there, too, so we're going to have to worry about a heat index later this afternoon. Mostly cloudy through 9 a.m., and then some sun by lunchtime, 88 degrees, 91, 1 o'clock. And then by the afternoon, 20% chance of a storm popping up. It's a low chance, but if we can get storms to fire, then there could be a couple strong storms, something we'll watch. But I don't think it's really going to interrupt your evening plans. Just keep an eye to the sky and keep an eye on that KSAT weather app. We'll keep you posted if something does pop. Okay, a lot going on this weekend, a lot going on next week. We're going to break it all down for you here in just a few minutes. But now, let's break down that morning commute and get over to Stephen Cavazos. What's the latest?
Well, that's actually what we've been seeing, a lot of breakdowns, Justin, at least on the roadways there. You can see 1604 at Bandera. Right now, as we bring that camera in, we are looking at a stalled vehicle out in that direction. I had to step out of the studio to give our friends at TransGuide a call. They tell us that they are moving that vehicle off into an area where it's safe for first responders to help that driver out. But you can see that this is definitely causing a slowdown in this direction of 1604. Taking you right to the map, that is there in the eastbound lanes near Hausman Road. We saw some yellow earlier, orange, now it is red, so we are seeing those slowdowns already starting to build in that direction. So drivers, keep that in mind if you're on the northwest side, but make sure you're checking your vehicles because stalls seem to be the trending issue as we drive over here. 35 southbound at Pine Street. We've talked about this stalled 18-wheeler for a little over an hour now, so just make sure that you are watching out if you head in any of those directions or see those flashing lights. Stall also here off I-35 northbound at Cesar Chavez Boulevard, where we're seeing a buildup in those lanes as well. Wide look at the map, though, does show that the morning is off and things are a little bit busier than normal, but that's okay. Thankfully, nothing major to report just yet. These travel times also looking like they're in great shape. Just keep in mind for our friends up in Bulverde, like David Sears, 27 minutes to get here to the downtown area. So just pack that patience this morning. And one last look here, 1604 at Bandera. We'll have more updates coming up in the next few minutes. Mark.
Stephen, thank you. Hopefully David heard you. Thank you, sir. Well, the owner of a pickup dealing with the effects of several costly mistakes. San Antonio police say someone drove that truck onto a set of railroad tracks on the west side where it collided with not one, but two trains.
Our Katrina Weber is live where that cleanup continues this morning near Highway 90 and General Hudnall. Now, Katrina, we know that no one was inside the pickup at the time, but have police found the person who had been driving it?
No, they haven't. They say that they did contact the owner of the pickup who told them that two of his friends had been driving his truck. He says he found out about this trouble when they called him and told him that they had an accident. The police say thankfully whoever was inside that truck had abandoned it on the tracks and was not in it when the train hit it. They believe that the driver was traveling on a dead-end street called Kirk Place after 2 this morning when he went through a fence and slammed into a train that was already parked on the tracks. Police say that's when everyone inside got out and left the truck on the tracks. Moments later, though, a second train came along and hit the truck, wedging that wreckage between those two trains. The crews arrived later to try to sort it all out and clean up the mess. And that is where we are now. But they did use some construction equipment to remove the pieces of that truck off of the tracks. Police are trying to track down whoever was in that truck at the time and try to figure out exactly what went wrong. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Also new this morning, 4 people are displaced after a fire forces them from their apartment on South Hamilton Avenue. This happened just before 10:30 last night at an apartment complex. Firefighters say when they arrived, they saw a small fire. The flames were contained to one unit. One person was injured, and firefighters say they are working to find out what caused it.
In your morning headlines, President Biden has arrived in South Korea. Will meet with the country's president as the allies face a growing threat from North Korea's nuclear weapons program. Both U.S. and South Korean intelligence say it's possible the North will conduct a ballistic or even nuclear test during Biden's visit to the South or over in Japan. While North Korea is expected to be at the top of the agenda when Biden and South Korea's president meet, it's unclear whether the meeting will actually produce a meaningful new approach to handling the threat. President Biden is expected to tour a Samsung semiconductor plant along with South Korea's president later today.
Officials at the CDC are closely tracking possible cases of monkeypox. Here in the U.S., 6 people are officially being monitored for possible monkeypox infections. So far, the 6 are all healthy with no symptoms. CDC officials are also investigating a case of confirmed monkeypox in Massachusetts, where a man who recently traveled to Canada. The CDC says monkeypox is rare outside of West or Central Africa and that Americans, quote, should not be concerned. And just as Americans plan their summer vacations, gas prices show no signs of slowing down.
The high prices we're paying now could soon rise even higher, a lot higher. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, drivers are hoping someone can pump the brakes on rising gas prices as experts sound the alarm about a possible summer surge on the way.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And it just keeps going up.
Analysts with J.P. Morgan Chase are now predicting $6 a gallon gas by August. That would be a 30% increase from the current national average, as problems persist with the fuel supply chain, just as more Americans prepare to hit the road for summer travel. California has already surpassed the $6 mark, averaging $6.06 a gallon for regular. The rest of the country is averaging an all-time high of $4.59 a gallon. Taxi drivers say they're desperate for relief.
We really hurting. The people who using every day, we don't fill up once a week. We fill up every day.
With Americans struggling, the House approved legislation yesterday to crack down on alleged price gouging by oil companies. The bill would allow President Biden to declare an energy emergency and make it unlawful to increase fuel prices in an excessive manner. The bill now heads to the Senate. In the meantime, a majority of people admit gas prices are affecting their vacation plans. One survey found 70% of Americans say their travel plans have changed because of rising gas prices, an increase of 24% compared to last year. Added fuel costs also affecting grocery purchases. 55% of shoppers say they're changing shopping habits, including buying less steak. Nearly 80% of consumers say they bought less meat overall because they couldn't afford it. Andrea Fujii, ABC News.
Ford is recalling some of its Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator SUVs because of potential fires that could ignite under the hood. The recall affects vehicles built between December 1st of 2020 and April 30th of 2021. There have been 16 reported fires and no reported injuries. Ford began investigating the issue in March of this year. So far, officials say they have not determined the cause of the fire. Ford is advising owners to park their vehicles outside away from buildings and structures. Officials say as soon as they finalize a list of owners affected by this recall, they will be contacted through mail, as well as the Ford Pass and Lincoln Pass apps.
Boeing launched its Starliner spacecraft on an uncrewed test mission towards the International Space Station last night. Starliner designed to ferry astronauts to and from the ISS. 2 prior attempts at such a mission failed. Boeing's goal to provide the Starliner can dock with the orbiting outpost. The aerospace giant must succeed at that before it can move on to missions with people on board. It's set to arrive at the ISS with supplies for astronauts already on board later today. Boeing originally hoped the Starliner would be operational way back in 2017, but that program has been plagued by problems and delays.
Well, if you haven't cast your vote for early vote for the primary 2022 primary runoff election, time is winding up. Early voting ends today. Several nominations for federal, state, and county offices are up for grabs, including Congress, Bexar County Judge, Attorney General, and state legislature. The May 24th election will decide races that did not have a majority winner during the March 1st primary. Just head to KSAT.com for a list of ballots and voting sites. The Texas primary election day is this Tuesday, May 24th.
Friday morning, 6:40, about 76 degrees.
All right, are you worried about being tracked online or even outside your home? After the break, some 30-second fixes that can protect your privacy. A recent poll revealed about 2/3 of Americans say that they are very or extremely concerned about hacking. They may have good reason to be.
You bet. Devices such as smartphones, smartwatches, fitness trackers, and security systems suffer about 5,200 cyber attacks a month. And the average household is hit with 104 threats every month. From your smartphone to your smart speaker to your smart security system, even a smart door lock. What can you do to protect your data and privacy?
Ursula Perry has some quick fixes that can help.
I worry that Google and other companies sell my information.
At least when I was a kid, you know, my mom took pictures on with a Kodak, you know, and she could keep those pictures were at home and nobody else could see them. They're tracking us everywhere.
Some apps for traffic reports, weather forecasting, or even food takeout can track your location, even when you're not using the apps. You can also tap each individual app to control which ones get access. Always, never, or only when you're using the app. Workers at Amazon, Apple, and Google may listen in on your recordings from your smart speaker to improve their voice computing technology. So if you prefer not to have a stranger listening to your recordings, you can delete recording devices, such as Alexa, by saying,
"Alexa, delete everything I said today."
Facebook can track you through hundreds of thousands of partnerships it has with apps and websites to get details on what you do on the web for advertising purposes. So to limit the company from tracking you when off their website, go to the menu, hit Settings and Privacy, view or clear out your off Facebook activity, manage your off Facebook activity, and select the Clear History button.
And one more privacy fix. You can always sign up for multi-factor or two-factor authentication when logging in. So even if a hacker has your password, they still would need more information or a code. Companies like Duo offer this for almost any website that you use. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
You're always listening.
So I'm going to do that. Tell Alexa, delete everything I said today.
Now you set off all the Alexas for our viewers watching.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
Yeah. Also, there was something else I was going to say about. Oh, it's gone. Anyway, that's probably
It's been deleted.
That's probably best. 6:46. Here's Stephen.
Hi. My Alexa's not in my room anymore. I got rid of it. It's actually my bathroom because it's nice to have it there when you're listening to music, getting ready for the day, but now it's just stored away. Okay, anyways, let's get a look at traffic here. 35 at Cesar Chavez. We talked about a stall that was reported in that direction. Not there anymore, but you can see 1604 Bandera. Gosh, I mean, that traffic is just building in that area, and that's because we reported a stall that's still out there. You can see with the wide look at their map, we have a stretch of red that's been building there in those eastbound lanes of 1604 in the northwest side. There at Hausman, where that stall was reported earlier. So keep in mind, this is still there. We are seeing some first responders out there. Hopefully, we'll see that clear when morning rush really gets going here. But let's take a drive again. We saw this stall that just cleared also off I-35 southbound, at Pine Street, not causing issues anymore. This one still seeing some slowdown, although it has cleared off I-35 northbound at Cesar Chavez Boulevard. Thankfully, no other problems to report as we take one last drive around town. Looks like we see a little bit of a dark image there, 35 at AT&T Parkway. But other than that, the morning is off. People are moving and driving off into the weekend. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen.
Justin, Okay, the amount of rain we're going to get, is it going to help at all with our drought?
Well, it's going to help some. We need to get a lot of rain to eat into this drought, okay? So I don't think this is going to be a drought-busting situation, but we do have the potential for some pockets of heavy rain and maybe some decent totals around the area through next week. Now, it's not all going to come at once, but we have the potential there to eat into this drought a little bit. And this is yesterday's Drought Monitor. It got a little bit worse across Texas. Most of the state is at 81% when it comes to drought conditions. Last week it was at 79% of the state was in drought. So we have exceptional drought here locally. That includes places like Pleasanton, Hondo, Uvalde, places that desperately need some rain. And this is farmland out here, so rain would really, really help, and that includes here in San Antonio. And I think we're going to get the opportunity to, again, help a little bit with this. Medina Lake, 17% full. It's down 58 feet, down nearly 10 feet over the last 3 months, so it continues to fall. Another place that could really use a good downpour. We're not going to get it today, other than maybe a couple of isolated storms this afternoon. Today is still much like the last several days, where it is going to be hot, and it is fairly humid this morning too. 77 degrees. Dew point is at 70. South-southeasterly wind at 11, gusting to 23. And these clouds will take some time to break up. Dew points sitting at 70 in a lot of spots, so this is oppressive moisture. And I think that's also going to contribute to a heat index later this afternoon. So temperatures around 97 here in town. It's going to feel more like 98, 99, maybe around 100. Keep that in mind. Right now, 78 in New Braunfels, 79 in Gonzales. We got mid to upper 70s across most of Bexar County at this hour. And Stinson still holding on to 80. No cool down at all. KSAT 12-hour forecast, 77 at 8 o'clock. We'll be near 80 by 10 a.m. Noontime, 88 and 91 by 1 o'clock. And then by 2, 3, 4 o'clock, we're going to add in a little bit of cloud cover and add in a rain chance. Now, this is what we call a conditional situation where if we can get storms going, then we may see some severe weather. But that's a big if because there's a cap on the atmosphere today. And so we may see nothing at all. But we do need to account for the fact that if something pops up, there could be some severe weather. And the reason for that, we have a storm system that's coming in from the west. A lot of dry air associated with it. So that's why we're not too optimistic about our rain chances today. But the Storm Prediction Center does have us in a isolated risk for severe weather in this area shaded here in pink, and that does include San Antonio. We'll let you know. If something pops up, we'll definitely let you know through the KSAT weather app. Current temperatures as you go to our north and west are really pretty chilly. 34 Casper, 37 in Denver. This cool air is racing towards Texas. Well, I shouldn't say racing, it's moving. It won't be here in San Antonio until Sunday morning, but we're starting to feel the effects up there around Amarillo. 58 degrees there. Otherwise, everyone else is in the 70s, and it is so nice to see that we do have a chance for some cooler air headed our way. Just a 20% chance of rain this afternoon, and then things clear out a little bit before we get more clouds tomorrow. Most of tomorrow will be mostly sunny and quiet, just a 20% chance of rain. But by tomorrow night, we start to see some storms coming back into the picture. 40% chance of rain Saturday night into early Sunday morning. That front comes through. There's a cooler air, and we'll still keep some rain chances in during the day on Sunday. Very quickly, how much rain can we get through the middle part of next week? We're thinking maybe 1 to 3 inches in general. It'll be spotty around here, but any sort of rain in that realm and near those numbers would be really good. 100 Saturday, but 81 on Sunday. There's the change. You see that chance of rain early on Sunday morning, and then more good rain chances Monday and Tuesday, especially with a 60% chance of rain through the day on Tuesday.
All right, I asked for 2 to 4 inches of rain this week. You're giving us maybe 1 to 3. Close enough.
We're going to try.
You passed.
Thank you, Justin.
Yep.
6:51, about 76 degrees on your Friday.
All right, tomorrow on GMSA, the top mistakes college graduates make when looking for their first post-college paycheck.
Outside with Live Cam, we'll wrap up GMSA after this break. All right, coming up today on GMSA at 9, I'll have Gone Fishing, the saltwater edition I mentioned earlier.
Plus, students will have fun while learning STEM skills thanks to 3D printers. Tiffany Huertas is going to explain why more of them will be popping up in more classrooms soon.
All that and much more coming up later today on the 9 a.m. newscast.
One more check-in with Stephen Cavazos with our traffic authority.
Hey, good morning, guys. 6:55. Things are looking okay right now as we're getting the morning rolling here. I-10 West at Loop 1604. You can see not a whole lot of people out there at 35 at AT&T Center, or AT&T Parkway, pardon me, but 410 at Starcrest. The morning is moving. Be on the lookout because we got to talk about a few things. This crash just popped up here off of 410, but we're really keeping our eye here off 1604 due to this stall in those eastbound lanes. As you can see at Hausman, that is where we're seeing that huge stretch of traffic that's just kind of continued to build as the show has kind of gone on. Make sure that you pack your patience in that area. We know that 1604 tends to be a pretty busy spot in general, but this stretch is a little unusual as the morning does get going. One last look around town, though. Everything else looks fine. Let's check in with Justin for the forecast, though.
Stephen, thank you. Those TransGuide cameras you just showed, you can see the cloud cover out there. So we're going to see clouds for much of the morning, then maybe a few breaks around noontime, and we'll add in some clouds this afternoon. Just a small chance for shower or storm, but there is also the possibility that one of those storms could be on the strong side. We'll let you know. Otherwise, it's just hot and somewhat humid too. 97, the forecast high. 100 tomorrow, but that big cool down comes on Sunday. 81. We'll see some storms early on Sunday and more chances of rain coming up next week.
All right, go out there and make it a great Friday, folks.
Happy Friday. GMA is next. We'll see you back here at 9 a.m.